Hey, welcome to the channel. Hey, I had a comment on one of my other social media platforms. A younger guy wanted some explanation on different types of rods, um, why people have so many different types of rods. You know, a lot of people that just fish may have one or two rods. Um, Lots of guys who bass fish, walleye, species specific fishing. There's tons of different techniques, styles, baits, lures, lines, rods, reels. Each different technique kind of can require a different type of rod, different type of reel. So I'm going to go over some of the things behind me. Got all my rods laid out, or most of my rods laid out, minus a couple ultralights. Start with the spinning reels. Good portion of the people use these. They are, a lot of guys use them for everything. If you've used a bait caster, there's some things you won't go back to a spinning reel with, but spinning reels for me are great for finesse presentations, lighter stuff. On here's a darter, tubes, another example, drop shots, Senkos. There's another darter. This actually has like a 10-pound braided line on it. These are both St.Croix. These are St.Croix. These are Fluger spinning reels. Senkos. This has a high-vis braid tied to a fluorocarbon leader. I think it's a 10-pound braid going to a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader for clear water. Skipping docks, working finesse baits, they're ideal. You can use them live bait fishing. You can use these for panfish. I have ultralights for that are just an even lighter rod, smaller reels. These bigger spinning reels take up a little more line, a little quicker. Bait casters, they can run the gamut. I have, this is my cranking rod. This is actually a 13 fishing. It's a 7'11". I throw my deep diving crankbaits with it. This reel is a 5-4-1, which is a super slow. So for every reel crank, every turn of the handle is 5.4 inches for one turn. So it's taking up line slow. Some of these reels are 8-3-1. I like the slow reel for deep diving crankbaits. You're not working as hard. It's more of a winching reel. I can work a deep diving crankbait a little bit easier to me with a slower retrieve, and I'm not overfishing it. 7'11" rod, great for really long casts. And on a crankbait, you want a long cast so you can bomb it out there. This is another 13 fishing. This is a 7-1, the Omen. I throw spinner baits on this. It's got a fast tip, and what I mean by that, it's really flexible and light. I don't know how well you can see it bouncing. These are rod sleeves, protect it. 12-pound fluoro on this one. This is one of my flipping rods. It's really light. I flip a lot. This has braid on it, 25-pound test braid. I use it to flip, usually soft plastics. This one I use to flip also. It's 13 fishing, really light reel, 8-3, really light rod. This is a 7.5-1 reel. This is 15-pound fluorocarbon. I'll flip jigs, creature baits sometimes, usually jigs with this. And it's a fairly fast rod, frog rod, kind of a heavy, stiff, heavy braided line. Again, this is a 6-8-1 slow retrieve reel for winching big fish out of heavy cover, heavy braid. I use this to throw my frogs exclusively on that one. This is a 7'1". This is a medium. I use it to throw swim baits sometimes. It's kind of a fast tip. I wouldn't throw heavy stuff. With smaller swim baits I can throw on this. Spinnerbait rods. This one's a little bit heavier. This one has braid on it, double willow leaf. I use it in heavier covered grass, stuff like that. Worm rod, St.Croix. Medium light. I use it to throw Texas rig worms, lizards. I don't throw them often. Another St.Croix. This is a 7-foot. This is 6'6" rather. I usually throw jerk baits at top waters. It's got a little bit shorter handle, so I'm not hitting myself in the stomach when I'm working a top water, working a jerk bait. This one has mono on it. It's my only reel that has mono is on this one. Fluorocarbon will sink, mono floats. I like to use the mono on top waters and jerk baits. This is another rod, 7.6 I believe this one is, 7.2, St.Croix. I will flip, but I also cast jigs on this one. 15-pound fluorocarbon, a little bit heavier. This is another really short rod, 6'6". Right now I have a chatterbait on it. I like to use this one with smaller spinner baits, buzz baits, 8-3-1, really fast. I like the short in tight roll cast situations, pitching it under cover around docks when I'm doing close work, not really worried about long casts. It's easy to control. Again, 15-pound fluoro. This is my main chatterbait rod. This is a 7-foot medium heavy with a fairly fast tip. Good for long casts. 8-3-1 Lews reel again. Mainly chatterbaits on this one. Occasionally I'll throw spinnerbait on this, but normally chatterbaits. This is St.Croix Mojo bass. They're a carbon cranker. I use this through all my square bills and smaller finesse crankbaits. 12-pound fluorocarbon. It's got a fast action all the way through, a really parabolic bend. It doesn't just bend at the tip, it bends all the way in here. Throwing a crankbait, fish will hit it from behind. The softer tip allows the fish to get the bait in their mouth without you pulling it out of the way. This one I will throw on a faster reel, the shallow square bill cranks, so I want to burn them faster. This is 7.5-1. There's also ultralights that I use for panfish, crappie, perch, bluegill. Those are in the other rod locker, but hopefully that clears anything up. That is why guys have a lot of rods. I try and tell people they're kind of like golf clubs. A golfer's not going to go out with a driver and a putter. He has different clubs for different applications. That's the same thing with fishing. You can never have too many rods, in my opinion. My wife, who just pulled away, has an entirely different opinion. But that's it. Hopefully you guys get some benefit out of that. And if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. Appreciate it.